I am walking through a dense bamboo forest in central China, following a familiar research path that I cross every week. The air is humid, the ground soft under my boots, and everything feels routine and controlled. I am checking camera traps and monitoring signs of wildlife, focused on data and conservation goals. Nothing in this moment suggests urgency, only the quiet rhythm of a protected reserve. Then I notice something wrong. The bamboo ahead is broken unevenly, not by feeding but by panic. The forest is silent in a way it should not be. That is when I see the giant panda. A full-grown giant panda stands alone between the bamboo clusters, its black and white fur dirty and uneven. The panda's movements are slow and hesitant, not relaxed like a healthy animal. Its posture is tense, shoulders low, head slightly down, as if conserving energy it no longer has. I stop walking, and the panda looks directly at me. Its eyes are not aggressive, not curious, but strained. The panda takes a few unsteady steps, then stops again, breathing heavier than normal. I immediately understand that danger is not visible, but systemic. This is not a predator attack. This is extinction pressure made physical. The bamboo around the panda is sparse, thinner than it should be in this region. Signs of human disturbance are present at the edges of the forest, barely visible, but undeniable. The panda is in a protected area, yet it is still struggling. The giant panda shifts its weight and sits down abruptly, clearly exhausted. It does not vocalize. It does not run. It simply stays there, looking at me, as if waiting. In that moment, I realize this panda is not asking for food or touch. It is asking for time. Time that its species is running out of. I stand still, fully aware that what I am witnessing is not an isolated case, but a warning. If nothing changes, this forest will become too quiet forever. I move closer to the giant panda, not to touch, but to understand how close it is to collapse. Every step I take through the bamboo feels heavier, as if the forest itself resists interference. The panda tries to stand again. Its front paws press into the soil, muscles tightening, but the effort fails halfway. The panda stumbles, barely catching itself before falling forward. I immediately recognize the danger increasing. This animal is not just tired, it is running out of functional energy. The bamboo around us offers little help. Most stalks are thin, broken, or stripped, forcing the panda to spend more energy searching than feeding. Time becomes the enemy, not minutes, but survival margins measured in heartbeats. The panda attempts another movement, dragging its body slightly to reach a nearby bamboo cluster. The motion is slow, inefficient, and costly. Its breathing grows louder, chest expanding rapidly with each breath. I scan the surroundings and notice new threats stacking silently. The forest edge is closer than it should be. Human activity presses in from outside the reserve, tightening the available habitat. The panda suddenly loses balance again and drops heavily onto its side. Dry leaves explode outward from the impact. The panda struggles to correct its position, legs moving without coordination for a brief moment. I feel the urgency spike. A panda on the ground in this condition risks injury, dehydration, and complete shutdown. The humidity thickens and the air feels stagnant. Sweat runs down my face as I kneel briefly, assessing distance, escape routes, and response options. The panda finally manages to roll back into a seated position, but the effort costs visibly. Its head hangs low now. The window for passive observation closes. I understand that waiting longer increases the risk of irreversible collapse. Intervention is becoming inevitable. The question is no longer if, but how fast. I stop hesitating and reach for my radio, knowing this moment defines the outcome. Every second the giant panda remains in this state increases the risk of organ failure and irreversible collapse. I signal my location and move again, faster now, closing distance without provoking panic. The panda lifts its head briefly, then drops it again, too weak to react properly. I position myself at an angle, never directly in front, keeping a clear escape path open. My movements are deliberate, controlled, designed to reduce stress while increasing effectiveness. The panda attempts to stand one more time. Its legs shake violently, joints unstable. body listing to one side. The attempt fails, and the panda collapses back into a seated position with visible strain. I assess breathing, posture, responsiveness, reading the signs without touching. This is advanced exhaustion compounded by habitat pressure, not injury alone. Backup arrives faster than expected. I hear movement through the bamboo, controlled and purposeful. Wildlife professionals enter the area carefully, spacing themselves to avoid crowding. Equipment is prepared quickly. Sedation tools, monitoring devices, emergency hydration. The panda reacts slightly to the new presence, lifting its head, breathing, accelerating. I signal for distance and slower movement, keeping the situation from tipping into shock. A sedative dart is prepared with precision, dosage calculated for stress and body condition. There is no margin for error here. The dart is deployed cleanly. The panda flinches once, then remains seated, breathing hard but stable. We monitor continuously. Heart rate slows gradually. Muscle tension decreases without full loss of posture. I stay in front of the panda's field of vision, grounded and steady. The intervention shifts from crisis response to controlled stabilization. For the first time since I arrived, the trajectory bends away from extinction and towards survival. The calm does not last as long as it should. Even stabilized, the giant panda remains dangerously vulnerable. I notice the first warning sign immediately. The panda's breathing changes again, slower but uneven, as if the body is struggling to adapt. Monitoring equipment shows a brief fluctuation, not failure, but instability, enough to remind us that sedation is not salvation. The panda's head tilts slightly to one side. Its posture weakens more than expected. Gravity begins to pull harder than muscle can resist. I move instantly, signaling the team to prepare for emergency support. If the panda collapses fully, airway risk increases sharply. The panda's body starts to lean, slow at first, then faster. For a split second, everything threatens to go wrong. A full collapse here could undo everything we just stabilized. I step closer, carefully positioning myself to guide the fall without touching the head. The team mirrors my movement, synchronized, precise. The panda finally gives in to exhaustion and lowers its body. Not violently, but uncontrollably. Dust lifts softly as its weight meets the ground. We act immediately. Padding is placed. Head alignment is corrected. Breathing remains present. Seconds stretch unnaturally long. No one moves more than necessary. Then the panda exhales deeply. A long, steady breath. The monitoring stabilizes again. Heart rate evens out. Oxygen flow remains uninterrupted. The crisis peaks and breaks at the same time. The line between loss and survival holds. I remain still, watching the panda breathe, knowing that this was the final gate. Beyond this point, extinction no longer stands directly in front of us. The forest feels different now. Not quieter, but balanced again, as if pressure has been released. The giant panda remains lying calmly, breathing deep and steady. There is no urgency in the movements around it anymore, only care. Hydration is administered slowly, methodically. The panda responds with subtle signs of strength returning, small but undeniable. Time passes without threat. Monitoring confirms what we were waiting for. Stability holds. As the sedation begins to wear off, the panda shifts slightly. Muscles respond. Life pushes forward without resistance. We increase distance, reducing presence, giving space back to the animal. The panda lifts its head on its own. A moment later, the panda stands. Not rushed, not afraid, grounded and alive. The panda turns once, then moves into the bamboo, disappearing without sound. No struggle, no fear, only continuity. I remain still, watching the forest close behind it. The extinction threat retreats, not erased, but pushed back by action. This place holds one more future now, and I walk away knowing this life continues because we arrived in time.